Hello students, let's start the second part of colonialism and the city with the topic how many Delhis before New Delhi. We were studying about the emergence of New Delhi, and first of all we'll study what kind of cities, what kind of areas were there before the emergence of New Delhi or before the making of New Delhi. First of all, we'll see the new word urbanization. Urbanization means this is the process of setting up of cities and by which more and more people begin to reside in towns and cities. So expansion of cities is known as urbanization. How many Delhis before New Delhi? You know Delhi as the capital of modern India, at this time. Did you also know that it has been a capital for more than 1000 years? Although with some gaps. As many as 14 capital cities were founded in a small area of about 60 square miles on the left bank of the river Jamuna or Yamuna. So these 60 square miles areas, small areas, right? It was small area and 14 capital cities were there, and the remains of all other capitals may be seen on a visit to the modern city state of Delhi. Of these, the most important are the capital cities built between the 12th and 17th centuries. As we have studied about 12th century to 17th century, because from the 12th century different kinds of invaders came in India, and after that Sultanate age was established, and during the Sultanate age Sultans made this capital their capital Delhi, and till the 17th century means during the Mughal Empire also, and after that the British also were attracted towards this city, and in 1912 1911 according to Delhi Darbar, and then in the beginning of 20th century in the second decade they established Delhi as their capital. So the most splendid capital of all was built by Shah Jahan. This was built by Shah Jahan, also known as Shah Jahanabad, was begun in 1639 and consisted of a fort, palace, complex and the city adjoining it. Lal Killa or Red Fort, you can see this one, Red Fort, made of red sandstone, contained the palace complex. To its west lay the walled city with 14 gates. The main streets of Chandni Chowk and Faiz Bazaar were broad enough for royal processions to pass. A canal ran down the center of Chandni Chowk. Set amidst densely packed mohallas and several dozen bazaars, the Jama Masjid was among the largest and grandest mosques in India. There was no place higher than this mosque within the city. At that time, Jama Masjid was one of the highest building. Delhi during Shahjahan's time was also an important center, Sufi culture during Shahjahan's time, and it had several dargahs, khanqahs, and eidgahs, open squares, winding lanes, quiet cul-de-sacs, and water channels were the pride of Delhi's residents. No wonder the poet Mir Taqi Mir, this is the name of the poet of Urdu, Mir Taqi Mir. The streets of Delhi aren't mere streets, they are like the album of a painter. These streets were shown very beautiful. In figure 4, the eastern gate of Jama Masjid in Delhi by Thomas Daniel, 1795 it was made, and the shrine of Nizamuddin Aulia in Delhi, it was figure 5. Yet even this was no ideal city, and its delights were enjoyed only by some. There were sharp divisions between rich and poor. It means society was divided on the basis of economic status. Havelis or mansions were interpassed with the far more numerous mud houses of the poor. The colorful world of poetry and dance was usually enjoyed only by men, not by women. So, social differences were seen, you can observe here, and furthermore, celebrations and processions often led to serious conflicts, and most of the times celebrations, whether different kinds of religious celebrations or political process and other kinds of processions, means resulted to serious conflicts. In the serious conflicts, due to which the society was divided on the basis of religion, castes, etc. So in this way we can see the different aspects of the development of Delhi. Now we'll see Dargah, the tomb of a Sufi saint. Khanka, a Sufi lodge often used as a rest house for travelers and a place where people come to discuss spiritual matters, get the blessings of saints, and hear Sufi music. These places were known as Khanka. Eidgahs were an open prayer places of Muslims, primarily meant for Eid prayers. And cul-de-sac, street with a dead end. Closed, closed streets, cul-de-sac, street with a dead end. So dear students, in this way we have discussed about the different stages. दिल्ली जो एक शहर था आलम में इंतिखाब. This was by 1739. Delhi had been sacked by Nadir Shah. 1739, Nadir Shah attacked Delhi and plundered many times. Expressing the sorrow of those who witnessed the decline of the city, the 18th century Urdu poet Mir Taqi Mir said, दिल्ली जो एक शहर था आलम में इंतिखाब, मीन्स हम रहने वाले हैं उसी उजड़े दयार के. I belong to the same ruined territory of Delhi, which was once a supreme city in the world. These words were written after seeing the destruction of Delhi city by Nadir Shah in 1739. Dear students, the making of New Delhi, the next topic. In 1803, the British gained control of Delhi after defeating the Marathas. They defeated Marathas in 1803 Anglo-Maratha War, since the capital of British India was Calcutta. At that time, the Mughal emperor was allowed to continue living in the palace complex in the Red Fort, and the modern city as we know it today developed only after 1911, when Delhi became the capital of British India. In 1911, a Delhi Darbar was organized by George V during the Lord Hardinge's reign in India, tenure in India, and then Delhi was declared as the capital of India. Demolishing a past. Let's start. Before 1857, developments in Delhi were somewhat different from those in other colonial cities. It means Delhi was different from other colonial cities in the senses of developments. In Madras, Bombay or Calcutta, the living spaces of Indians and the British were sharply separated. As we discussed earlier, that the cities were divided into two parts, basically black and white cities. Indians lived in the black areas while the British lived in the well laid out white areas. In Delhi, especially in the first half of the 19th century, the British lived along with the wealthier Indians in the walled city. These were known as the walled cities. The British learned to enjoy Urdu, Persian and culture and poetry, participated in local festivals. So the British were very interested to learn these languages and with the culture, Urdu and Persian culture, and also poetry, and they used to participate in the local festivals. The establishment of Delhi College in 1792, you have to remember, led to a great intellectual flowering in the sciences as well as in humanities, largely in the Urdu language. Many refer to the period from 1830 to 1857 as a period of Delhi Renaissance. It is known as the Renaissance period of Delhi, 1830 to 1857. It was the period of awareness of the people and the new kinds of intellectual development among the people, that was known as Renaissance. All this changed after 1857. During the revolt that year, as